Today, I want to share with you one of my own manifestations, not only because it was a viewer request from a few videos back, but also because this is a manifestation that has so many sides to it and so many things I can explain to you with this one simple manifestation that I often touch upon in other videos, such as things can be done in such a simple way. You don't need to overcomplicate it. This is something I keep saying, that things don't need to be complicated at all. Even though we are operating with a law, through a law that is very complex and probably will never understand it fully, but when you apply it to your specific situations in your practical life, it can be done in a very practical and simple way and manifest exactly in the same way. Another thing that this manifestation includes is how you don't need to figure out how it can come to pass. If you just leave the how out of your manifestations, you will simplify your life, really. And another thing is, don't force any 3D action to make it happen. Your mind will figure out how to get your manifestation to you. And a few other things. I am going to explain to you what I manifested, how I manifested it, so what technique I used to manifest it, how it manifested, and then we are going to go a bit into details of how you can apply this to your own manifestations, actually in a better way, because I manifested exactly what I imagined, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to explain to you how you can do it better, actually, and manifest what you want, because your mind is not going to take any joke or analyze to figure out what you actually meant. It's a copy from your mind, from your imagination, pasted in the physical reality. This is also another thing that this one manifestation is so perfect to demonstrate. Before I do that, welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a manifestation coach. On this channel, I teach the law of assumption as taught by Neville Goddard, and I keep it simple and practical so that you can take it and apply it to your own manifestations. If that's what you are looking for, you are definitely in the right place. Subscribe and stay for more. And if you need any additional help with your own manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is in the description box below. So I was manifesting a book. Now, this was not any important book or any important manifestation for me. I didn't need the book. I just wanted it. So I thought, let me just manifest it. So I knew exactly what book I wanted, and I knew exactly what edition I wanted. They do exist in different editions and they look different, and I wanted that specific edition of that specific book. So that edition of the book has a bright blue color. No pictures on it, it's just the title and the author, and it's bright blue. And I knew how big it was, so it was very easy for me to imagine it. I thought, what better way to manifest something than to imagine already having it? So I constructed a scene where I imagined that book lying on a table in a room, and I was walking. My visual scene was, I visualized that I was just walking past this room, the door was open, and I would just see this blue book laying on the table as I would walk by the door. And that was all. So I kept imagining this, and of course it's also very easy to imagine when you know the room, you know the book, you know your table, you know your whatever you're manifesting. So it was very easy for me to make it very natural in my mind. By the way, even if you're manifesting, like for example, you're manifesting traveling to a place where you've never been and you don't know what it looks like or what it feels like to be there. I don't want to make it sound like you can't make it natural. Of course you can, because your imagination knows, and you need to figure out a way to find pictures online or however you do it, or use a different technique, like for example manifestation and affirmations, where you state that you are already there, or you went and you came back, or there's always a solution. So that's what I'm saying. So anyway, I was continuously visualizing this scene in the most perfect Neville Goddard way of visualizing it. I was not doing sets with this one. I have a video on sets, by the way. I will link it down below since I mentioned it. I was doing it during the day, closing my eyes, concentrating, and looping the scene. Now, the best, the classical or the most perfect Neville Goddard way of visualizing something is to constructing a scene that implies that your manifestation is already done, and loop the scene, basically. So I was doing that until it sort of started feeling real, feeling like it was done, feeling like that scene was actually, I experienced it, it happened. This is, by the way, what we are actually after when we do any manifestation technique, be it your affirmations, be it your inner conversations, visualization, or if you're using any other taste and smell, etc. For example, if you're manifesting food or coffee, which a lot of people are playing around with, there you can use your taste sense and your smell. So anyway, this visualization sort of sunk in, and I forgot about it. Which is, by the way, what real letting go means. Letting go is a term that is very misunderstood. I have another video that I'm going to link down below. That is definitely something that I would suggest you watch if you have questions about letting go. I probably have a couple of videos, not just one. So anyway, I forgot about this visualization. A couple of weeks passed. I was in town for other things. I finished what I was doing, and I had to wait. I had a bit of time. I was meeting with someone, and I had nothing to do. So I thought, while I'm waiting, let me go to the library and in the meantime and see if they have this book. Now, mind you, I had completely forgotten I had done this visualization. And I don't go to the library. I probably hadn't been to that library for 10 or more years. I love buying books. I love owning my books. And no one touches my books. So library is really not my thing. But in that moment, it felt so natural. I thought, let me go and see if they have this book. They had the book. I borrowed it. I brought it home without thinking what I was doing, at all. I brought it home. I put it on that table. And later on that day, my exact visualization happened in 3D. I walked past that room. The door was open. I saw the book on the table as I was walking by. And that's where it hit me, oh my God, are you kidding me? It was such a copy-paste of my imaginal act. And this has happened every time I have used specific visualization for something. I have manifested specific texts from people like this, imagining the words, specific words. I have manifested, by the way, in one of my Q&A answers, videos where I answer the questions, I shared another manifestation of mine where I manifested sunshine on a rainy day. It was, again, the same technique I used. It manifested the same way. So it manifested perfectly. This is what it means when people say, you've probably heard it, manifestation is perfect. Manifestation is whatever you imagine is going to manifest. Now, with that scene, even though it was great, it was very precise, nowhere in the scene did it say that I owned the book. And your manifestations will come to you in the fastest, easiest way possible when you let it happen. What I could have done better, and what I suggest you consider when you are manifesting, is I could have, for example, instead of imagining the book on a table already, I could imagine a scene where I opened a gift wrapped book, and there it was. Or I could have simply included the feeling of ownership of this book, because we know how that feels. If I had worked on that, I just didn't think that this could happen this way, so I didn't go so much in details. But now that you know, make sure that if you're manifesting objects, that you manifest the feeling of owning it. With SPs, even more important, because that is a bigger and more important subject. When you are manifesting, for example, being on a date, your mind is going to manifest being on a date, and that's it. If you want the person to be your committed partner and be on a date, somehow you need to include it, because your mind is not going to sit and figure out, what does this person want? Do they want the relationship, or do they want the date? So if you're manifesting just a date, that's what you're going to manifest. That is what it means, that manifestation is perfect. Your subconscious is not analyzing, it's not questioning, it's not judging. It's simply going to manifest. And that is why we want to be careful with the negative story, because it's going to manifest that just as well. That is one thing. Another thing is, in my videos where I talk about not taking action, which makes some people a bit nervous, because we are so used to living in the 3D that we can't possibly imagine that something can happen to us without us doing something in the 3D. First of all, a lot of manifestations come to pass without you lifting a finger, without you having to do anything. Other manifestations require you to take steps and do something, but that is still not your job to figure out and to manipulate and do. If it's needed that you take physical part in your manifestation, you will be guided in a way that mostly you won't even realize that has anything to do with your manifestation, and you won't realize what you're doing in that moment. You'll be guided in a way that it will feel so natural to you, like drinking water when you're thirsty. So it's not something you start thinking about, figuring out if it's right or wrong. And this is the topic of inspired action. Inspired action is not something that you do, that you figure out, even though a lot of people make it sound like that. Inspired action is something that happens through you, whether you want it or not, because once something is impressed, it has to express. And another thing is that it can be done so simply, and it's not always easy when your manifestation is, again, big and important, which the SP topic often is, or your career, you're manifesting your dream career, you're manifesting your body. Those topics are topics that we have really emotional I want to say attachment, but I don't like that word. We are invested. We are a lot involved in those things. So if you have a lot of negative story of being hurt or rejected, etc., it can be very challenging for you to apply the technique and believe in it and have faith and all that. And that is very understandable. But if you can find a way to go from there to simply applying the technique and giving yourself the indulgence maybe of the idea of your desire already being true, it can be done that simply. And the techniques, especially the techniques, they don't need to be complicated or long or a chore, especially. A lot of people wanting to do it better, wanting to manifest something quicker, do so much work that it really becomes a heavy chore. It doesn't have to be. And it doesn't matter whether your manifestation is big or small, your mind operates the same way. This same technique that I used to manifest a simple book is something that you can use to manifest a huge mansion, for example. Your mind still operates the same way. You impress on it the story of it being done. It finds a way to make it happen in your physical reality. So again, if you are manifesting something that you want to own, make sure that it's included in your visualization or in your affirmation or in your any imaginal act that you are doing. And this goes for those things that are very specific. Not all manifestations are very specific, you know. If you are manifesting wealth and success and flow of money, that doesn't have to be a specific amount of money or specific type of wealth or specific whatever it is. It can be, but there are things that just aren't specific. Or you are manifesting being loved. That can be manifested in a million different ways, and they are all beautiful. But when you are manifesting an object, or you are manifesting a specific relationship with a specific person, or you are manifesting owning a house or whatever, make sure you include it in there. So yeah, because your mind is that precise. Your mind is very precise, and it just does what it's told. It doesn't sit there and analyze what you actually wanted. So that was all for today. I really hope this was inspiring, and let me know in the comments if you like to manifest objects and what you have manifested and how you have manifested it. It's really inspiring for everyone else who's reading them too. And once again, if you need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is always in the description box below, and see you in the next video.